But that was not the main complaint.
Okay. What's the main
That was like
complaint?
one of the things that the main complaint, and this has nothing to do with like Formula One consistencies, like as a sport, but this time is on the broadcast.
Hmm.
The broadcast and the TV that we're watching makes it look it looks so fucking bad. Like the whole time, I don't care about watching the crowd. I don't have Verstappen and Leclerc fighting for position and then show me a crowd full of Red Bull fans. It's like, what are you
Hmm.
doing? I'm trying to watch a race here. Um,
Oh, really? I don't think that bugs me. But go
you
on.
didn't
Sorry.
notice? Oh my god, the whole time. Then the other one, which I've always been a heavy critic of, is Crofty,
Hmm.
the main commentator. He always messes up the names of the drivers. You
Oh,
have
he does do that very
you
often.
have Stroll fighting Alonso, and then they are commentating that that's Vettel fighting Alonso, and they're talking about for like an entire lap, saying like, "Oh, there are 6 World Drivers' Championship between
Yeah,
these
because yeah.
two, and they're fighting, and there's years of experience, and like all of this." And I'm like, "Bro, that's Lance Stroll. What the fuck are you talking about, man?"
Yeah.
And Vettel is right behind them fighting Latifi or whatever, and it says the number 5, and then it's like, on Lance Stroll now is fighting Latifi, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, no, yeah, I think that annoys me. I think you have a real pet peeve about that. I think it bugs me, but I'm like, whatever, the guy is old, who cares? But I do get
No,
it.
it's not Martin Brundle. It's David Crofty, the guy that says
I
like,
know,
and it's lights out and
yeah, I
away we
know.
go. That guy.
Yeah, I like Martin Brundle actually, but
I think Martin Brundle's pretty good. I actually like when he does the onboards
mhm,
during
mhm.
qualifying. He
Those are really
describes
good.
the lap so good. It makes me
Yes.
know more about the tracks.
Yeah, I think so too. He just knows the layout and how you're supposed to take every turn. But yeah, Crafty, I think he's got a very iconic voice. I think we've said that in before in the show, but and it's like it's really good for like action, like when the action's happening. But yeah, he's always constantly messing up things. He's constantly making. Also, he makes really bad jokes that I'm just like I wish I hadn't heard that. That's uh it's either like too British of humor or it's just like not good humor or something. I don't know. But
So, but
yeah.
like the complaint I wanted to say, and this is going back to the beginning of the podcast, is that I think a Formula One race can be made really good. A really good Formula One race can be portrayed and made really bad if you have bad TV direction, you know?
Mhm.
Uh, and I think the Miami Grand Prix kind of suffered that. I think it was a very exciting race. Yeah, we didn't have like, actually, we did have it. Like Leclerc and Verstappen were fighting for
Yeah.
so long, but and then we run into the same issue. I think in Saudi Arabia this year, that you have Verstappen and Leclerc fighting for position. One gets the overtake, and then we're seeing a replay of it
Immediately, yes. I
immediately.
I, I noticed that too.
And I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, they are still fighting. They're still like within a second of each other. There's another DRS zone coming up.
Like coming right up, yeah.
It's like, I want to see that. Like, show me the whole way through. I want to see if Leclerc got a better exit than Verstappen. How close is he?
Yeah.
Even if, like, I know that later on, like, nothing happened.
Hmm.
It's like, oh, Leclerc didn't get him. But I wanted to see how much he didn't get him by, you know? I'm
Yeah.
watching them drive, I'm watching them race the whole time. And you're going into a replay. You're now going into this helicopter shot. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, these two guys are within a second of each other.
Just put
There's
him on.
they're gonna be about another DRS zone and another braking spot, and you're putting the crowd, you're putting a helicopter shot of something else. You're I don't know, man. You're putting a replay, and I'm like,
Yeah. I
I
mean,
just want to watch these two guys fight.
I'll say that the crowd shots don't bug me as much, but I think the fact that yes, I felt that too. You're watching the drivers, and then they're like, it's they just literally went through the main straight. Okay, so there wasn't a pass, and then immediately they play a replay of like what just happened, and I'm like, what? But they're still driving, like they're still racing. And in the case of like Verstappen or somebody making a mistake and somebody overtakes them, then I'm gonna have to be fucking watching that on a replay
Yes.
because you took it off. Like let it cool down. Like it'll come down eventually. Like just let the thing breathe. Let the viewers get attached to the action and then show the replays.
Yeah, I don't
Replays are
need to
fun.
see.
Replays are great, you know.
I
But
don't need to see the replay. Like show me like when like this is not like soccer, you know? In soccer,
yeah,
when you score a goal, there's like a 2 minute period
I was like, yeah,
where
like break.
there everything resets, you know?
Hmm.
And therefore like you can show all the replays you want, and then in soccer we get all of these amazing replays from every single angle, how beautiful they are, slow motion.
Yeah,
And then in here like you get like a one thing and it feels like they want to do the same thing. It's like we have to show it all of the angles, and I'm like, they're still driving.
yeah. All of the different cameras, all the different. I hate the one that I've always kind of hated the one that's on the wing, on like the wing of
Oh
the
yeah, at the
car.
very, yeah.
Like I don't, it
You
doesn't do anything for me.
and,
But
and you know which one is the one that they now introduce, the helmet cam? Get rid of that, or like don't get rid of it, but it's just like you can't see anything. What happened to the original onboard? It's just
those are cool enough. Yeah,
the onboards are so good, and like I feel like now they replace them with the helmet cameras, and I'm like, if I knew that you were gonna replace the onboards for helmet cams, I would have never asked for helmet cams.
I mean, I
Just
did.
give me the onboards.
They still have the onboards, and I'm cool with those. Yeah, I don't like. I mean, the ones here is like it puts you in like the driver's seat. I kind of like them. They shouldn't show it too often because it's like super shaky. Whatever. The one that I hate is the one that like they show and it's like it literally just shows the back of the car and like
Oh,
in the
just
middle,
the rear wing.
yeah, just the rear wheel and the rear tires, and I'm like, why the fuck am I looking at that? Like, I don't like. To me, it never matters that like I see a car coming from behind and like passing to the side. Like it doesn't. I don't feel the action doing that, right? You feel it if you're like on the driver's seat and then you see like what like the other car like approximating.
Yeah,
But
it's not like an IndyCar. You have like the whole 360 cam. So when you're
mm,
being overtaken, the cam like
it
rotates
starts
to the car.
turning.
Yeah. And I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, yeah, we don't have that in Formula One.
Mm-mm.
So don't show me the one from behind, because, yeah, it makes sense. Like, oh, you got really close and then it passes, and I'm still watching the rear view. Like, there's no more cars in here. Like,
Right, exactly.
what am I looking at?
And sometimes
But
they even show incidents from the back and like where like they crash in the front, and I'm just like, why are you showing me the goddamn rear back? Like what do you think you're achieving by doing this?
or you have a car and they got hit from the back, and then you don't show me the rear. Like you show me the car driving on the front and then getting hit, and
Yes,
I'm like, what? Show me the fucking rear.
that's what you because you want to see those cars getting fucked up. Good. And like they don't show that. I like what then what's the point? What's the point? Why I don't need to see the back tires? Like there's nothing important happening there. Uh, so yeah, I mean I understand the complaint though. I feel like I got annoyed this weekend that like I was trying to watch the top two drivers world championship going on, and then they started playing like replays while the drivers are still like lapping within a second. Just fucking let it breathe. Like everybody wants to see the replay, they'll show the replay. Nobody wants to see the replay in the middle of the action. Like
Yep. Because then
why
if the action happens, then I'm gonna have to watch the action on a replay after I already know the outcome. The
exactly.
reason it's exciting is because you don't know what's gonna happen.
It's life. It's like anything could happen. Somebody could touch the wall. Somebody could like spin out. They could touch each other. And, like it's like there's a bunch of things that could happen.
They could touch each other.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think that's is any more complaints? I think that was a juicy complaint.
No, yeah, that's the like just get it together. I think the Miami Grand Prix was actually a really good race.
I
And it
think
had
it's
a lot
really
of action. It's just the broadcast, they just
hmm,
fucked up. And I'm like, the action, like I feel like the amount of action that it had was good. But if it would have been done proper, like it would have been like much better. You would have been more hyped for longer. But the whole time where I'm being hyped, my hype is being killed by a fucking replay.
I think
I'm like,
so. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I didn't think that the race was as exciting as I think you did. I feel like it was exciting after like 40 laps, and then after the Lando crashed, then it became a race. But before that, I just
yes,
I don't
okay,
know.
yeah,
It was kind of a snoozer before that.
yeah.
I'm happy that the incident happened. I was like I was praying for it because I was like, this is the chance to like show Americans what this great sport is all about. You just need one safety car, just one. And then it happened. I was like, yes, it gets exciting. It gets to be an actual race where like everybody's on their feet and seeing like what's gonna happen. Those are the good races, and I think that
Yeah,
Americans need
and
to
I
see
think
that.
that's what Americans like too.
Yes,
Like Americans are like, oh, they fucking crush, and then
yes.
they like the drama and the commotion. If it would have been just like
Oh,
a snooze fest
oh,
the
I almost
whole way
forgot.
through.
But you know what the craziest part at the end was? The fucking interviewer, dude. Well, what's up with that
Oh
guy?
yes, yes.
That, that was so strange.
they
That man. I think that man was on drugs, cause like it didn't make any sense. He like shook Verstappen's hand and like wouldn't let it go, and like he was asking all these questions
he was
slowly.
he so just to give you some context, the guy is a boxer.
Okay.
Uh and
Oh god.
so I mean, nothing against boxing. Obviously, you have to be really talented to be able to win boxing matches in the United States, you know.
Yeah.
But it was so awkward. It's like you're getting a guy that it is so out of touch with the sport.
Yes.
So like Carlos Sainz comes in the interview, and the guy is like, "Carlos Sainz, you're in the podium here in Miami, baby."
You're a
He's
champ,
like,
baby.
"You're a champ, baby. How is the car? How is the chassis? How is the tires? Go." And then I'm
uh,
like, what?
yeah, that like I was like,
so
what is
so
going on?
Carlos Sainz is like with his fucking hair, like, what? Oh yeah, yeah, you know, he's trying to be as nice. Then he goes away, and then Charles Leclerc is like Charlie Leclerc. He
Charles
gave it Chuck
Leclerc.
Leclerc. Yeah, he's like
Leclerc.
Charles Chuck Leclerc, something like that.
Yes.
And then he's like, you're in the podium in Miami, baby. How is the car? How is the chassis? How is the tires? And I'm like,
it was
what is
exactly
going
fucking question.
on?
It was like it was the best. I was laughing pretty hard at that. Like uncontrollably.
And then Verstappen comes in, and then he shakes Verstappen and said, oh, also he's like this close to the
he's like
drivers.
super close to them,
He's super in their personal space. And then he grabs Verstappen's hand. He's like, "You're the champ, baby, and when you're the champ, every day feels like Christmas." And I'm like, "What is going on?"
Yeah. Which is it's so crazy because the day before they had Danica Patrick, and I was like, oh,
Oh,
Danica
Danica Patrick
Patrick.
is a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, and like she like did a really good interview. Like she asked like really interesting questions, and like it was very clear. You know, she's American, so I guess for my ears, like oh, it was like really sportsy questions, and I was like, I was ready to like see Danica again, but then they put this dude like out of nowhere. Like who's this dude? I've never fucking heard of this guy. I'm an American. You know, like what's going on? So yeah, yeah, I don't know. It was cringy, but it was like hilarious at the same time. And then yeah, well, you know, there was the police, you know, like this.
That was so cringe. It was so American, and I'm like, can we just keep it Formula
Yeah,
One? You know,
yeah,
uh, let people from the United States know what Formula One is all about before you start like culturally
yeah,
appropriating.
or
Is
like
that is it?
imposing the culture. Yeah, I don't know. But it wasn't even necessary because then you see like Leclerc and Sainz are already just like sitting there like for like a few minutes. So it's like why couldn't Verstappen just take that same path? You know, he really just finished the interview with Sainz, with them. So like, I don't know, it didn't make any sense. It was just show offy and
Yeah,
really
like
strange.
yeah, I hate it when Formula One does that. The other instance, just to talk about like briefly, is I think last year when Verstappen won Monaco, and they brought in Serena Williams,
Mm-hmm.
or and then like in the middle of the interview, Max Verstappen is having the interview, and then they bring Serena Williams and they start interviewing Serena Williams.
Oh yeah, that
And
was
I'm like,
rare. That was
and then
weird.
Verstappen is just standing there like, and I'm like, bro, this guy, probably one of the greatest drivers in Formula One that will ever exist, just won Monaco, the most iconic event in Formula One, and you're interviewing the tennis player. What is
Yeah,
going on?
it was. Yeah, I remember that. It was pretty weird. She just like, I don't know. She was like just answering questions, but
Yeah,
like,
I think she was also trying to be polite. Like, yeah, it wasn't her fault, and I think she
yeah.
was trying to hand it off to Verstappen, but the
Mhm.
fucking interviewer is just still like
Like
Serena,
interviewing.
and I'm like, this is not about any of these celebrities, bro. Like, we have the drivers here. I came
Yeah.
into and I tuned in for Formula One. You know?
Yeah, I need, it's nothing against Serena. I mean, like she's a pro for sport, but it's like, I mean, it could be anybody else. It could be Tom Brady, and it's like, I mean, cool to see Tom Brady there, but like, why would Tom Brady be in a Formula One event after somebody wins? It's like, I don't know. It's like you don't see people like after like Brady wins like a game, like in that all of a sudden comes a Formula One driver and they ask like the Formula One driver what they thought about the, the,
Yep.
the football game. It's I don't know, just very strange, very odd.
Yeah.
That
So
sometimes these things happen.
just keep it
Yeah.
Formula One. You know?
Yes.